For those of you that aren't familiar with Christina's work, she is founder of Christina Costa Coaching. And this is where she provides career and empowerment coaching to BIPOC professionals and leaders.
I'm Christina. I'm super excited to be here and hopefully help all of you and empower all of you to feel much more confident in building your LinkedIn brands, your professional brands, and mastering LinkedIn. Because whether we like it or not, everyone's using it. So it's really important to know how to best utilize it. A little bit about me. I am a certified career and empowerment coach. The reason I call myself career and empowerment is because I do believe that your personal development goes hand in hand with your professional development. In order to show up as your best self in the workplace, you have to actually feel like your best self. So building your confidence, developing your inner leader, starting to trust yourself, having that growth mindset, all of that is part of my coaching. My background's actually in tech. So I've worked in the technology sector for the past 14 years. My most recent role before I went full-time entrepreneur was actually working at Google in the cloud in talent development and recruitment. And so we used LinkedIn religiously at Google to find talent. Previously, I've worked at companies like HubSpot, PayPal, worked in learning and development. I've been a senior consultant. I've worked in HR. I've worked in digital marketing, customer success, a little bit of everything. So I'm really happy to be here today with you all. We're going to talk a little bit about what is your professional narrative. Before we can even start thinking about what is our brand, we have to know what is our narrative? What do we want people to know about us? So your narrative is the journey to your identity. It's simply the story that you tell about yourself, including your experiences, values, your impact, and aspirations. When your narrative resonates with your audience, it establishes an emotional connection and allows the other person to understand your journey, your motivations, and your unique contributions or your unique qualities. It's the story you tell about yourself in a professional setting, which generally includes experiences, your values or your passions, your strengths or your skills, and the impact that you want to make. It's similar to an elevator pitch, right? I'm sure you've all heard of this. And your goal with this is to make a positive and resonating first impression. I want you to think about here in terms of your professional narrative. What do you want people to know about you when you're meeting them, when you're going to networking events? What is it that you want someone to understand about you when you're meeting them? Because that's going to be helpful to developing your professional brand. I will actually share mine so you can get a little sense of what this could look like. So I'll read it out for you. My name's Christina. I'm a certified career and empowerment coach on a mission to equip BIPOC professionals with the skills to succeed in their personal and professional lives. I love building curriculum, providing educational workshops and career resources for professionals who are navigating their careers. As a first-generation Latina who's lived in several different countries and sees the value and diversity of thought and experiences, I also focus on creating inclusive and psychologically safe spaces for my clients and also for the organizations they work for through my inclusivity and HR consulting work. So hopefully you get a little sense of what that professional narrative could be for you. What is your story? What do you want people to take away from that kind of introduction? So let's do a little quick activity. I want you to first look inward. So, number one, take a moment to reflect on a professional accomplishment you are proud of. I want you to take a moment and think, what is something that you've accomplished in your professional life that you're really proud of? And then I want you to think of why. And then the second question, what role did you play in the accomplishment? Lastly, what impact did it have? Well, one of my accomplishments that I'm most proud of was when I was leading a program called Parachute Bridge, which was a career training program for DACA students who were college grads. So these were first generation Latino immigrant students who maybe did not have any support in the household on how to navigate their careers. And what I was most proud of was having a 95% job acceptance rate program. And it was also a 35% salary increase for the students. And so for me, that was something I was really proud of because I helped my students not only align in their job search, find roles that were fulfilling to them, but also help them ace the interviews and negotiate their offers. So let's think about what is your personal brand. It's how you see yourself, how others see you, and then in the middle of that is your personal brand, right? So in today's fiercely competitive business world, establishing a personal brand is crucial for your professional success. But what sets a great personal brand apart from the rest? Often it's not just about the skills or quality of your work, it's about how others perceive you. Imagine personal branding as the art of showcasing your unique qualities, strengths, skills, passions, and values to create a compelling and authentic professional identity. Right, so I want you to think about, just as companies and organizations build their brands to attract customers, right, or clients, individuals need to brand themselves in order to attract opportunities, create lasting connections, and carve out their niche in their industries. It's your authentic identity, essentially, right? So let's talk a little bit about these two women. What do you think is their personal brand? What about Isa on the left? What do you think is her personal brand? When I think of Isa, I think of philanthropy. I think of entrepreneur, right? She has her own production company now. She's making her own shows. She does things her way. She's all
Love
about
that.
Black power, right? What about Michelle Obama? What do you think is her brand? I think grace,
I was going to say like elegance, just
elegance,
class,
class,
yeah,
eloquent,
eloquent,
yeah,
educator.
educator, leader, for sure,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Empathy, authenticity. Yeah. So it's not just your job title and it's not just what you do, it's how you carry yourself as well. So, what are the benefits of personal branding, of effectively personally branding yourself? Number one, you are more relatable. You can establish a brand identity. You can showcase your expertise. You can get more opportunities. That's definitely been the case for me. Even here, being here today, right? Like I met
Yeah.
Colleen at an event, a Women NYC event in the city, right? And I went up to her and shared my background and shared my professional narrative with her. And now look, I'm here today with you. You can differentiate yourself and you can leave a lasting impression, right? Because I tell people, especially when I was recruiting and even as a career coach, whether we like it or not, people hire who they like and who they know, and people work with who they like and who they know, even if you're an entrepreneur. So this is a really short exercise, but I want you to think of, have you guys ever heard of this concept of ikigai? So ikigai is a Japanese concept for finding your purpose, or essentially your reason for being. So you fill in what you love, what the world needs, what can you be paid for, and what you're good at. So essentially, your ikigai is the intersection of all of those things. Sometimes this can be a helpful exercise for you if you're thinking about kind of what is my purpose, right? What is the purpose that I have in this world? What do I want to provide to this world? What impact do I want to make? So this is really helpful just to uncover your ikigai. First question is, what are you naturally good at? Or what are your strengths? Did you know that 3/4 of Americans don't know their strengths? And that's crazy because your strengths are usually something you're already naturally really good at. So if you know your strengths, you can play to them, and whatever it is that you do and utilize them for will come much easier to you. And then the second question is, what impact do you want to make in the world? If you can come up with those answers, that can really help you find some clarity and direction for what it is that you want to do in the world, what it is that you want to build, right? How do you want to make an impact? And how can you utilize your strengths to further that impact? So again, what you love, what the world needs, what can you be paid for, and what you are good at. The intersection of all those 4 pillars is your ikigai. I personally think it's very difficult to find the ikigai for most people, right? Something that you can be paid for and you're good at and you love and what the world needs. But if you can find it, I guarantee you, you will feel much more purposeful in your everyday work, in things that you pursue. You'll have more clarity and direction and focus. So let's talk a little bit about the power of LinkedIn, because whether we like it or not, everyone is on LinkedIn, meaning clients, customers, recruiters are definitely on LinkedIn, hiring managers are on LinkedIn, companies are on LinkedIn, professional connections. So here are just some fun facts about LinkedIn that maybe you didn't know. LinkedIn has over 930 million members in 200 countries. 94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find and source candidates. There are currently over 15 million jobs posted on LinkedIn. And the top hard skills companies need on LinkedIn, and this is in 2023, are software development, SQL, cloud computing, operations, and JavaScript. So there's a lot of technical skills that people are looking for on LinkedIn. I mean, obviously, they're not just looking for technical, right? They're looking for many other things, but these are the top hard skills right now that recruiters are looking for. And what do you guys think? Why do people use LinkedIn? Feel free to type it in the chat. Why do people use LinkedIn? Why do you use LinkedIn? Engage with people in our community, definitely. Find a job, yes. Networking, to look and hire for jobs, awesome. To connect, stay on top of the news and industry, yep. Professional connections, and to engage, see what companies are looking for. I love it. All of those are correct. So before I give you the answers, LinkedIn is a social network that focuses on professional networking and career development. So you can use LinkedIn first and foremost to enhance your professional brand, right? To display your resume. You can have your resume featured on your LinkedIn. I don't know if you knew that. You could have it there. You can obviously build your professional network, search for career opportunities, gain more information or learn more information about companies and organizations and who works there. Learn professional skills, right? There's a ton of LinkedIn learning videos, certifications that you can get as well. And a lot of them are free, just so you know. But most importantly, you use LinkedIn to connect with recruiters, business owners, potential clients, mentors, sponsors, or other professionals. All right. So now we know why people use LinkedIn. Who do you think are the top 2 LinkedIn users? What do you guys think? Now that we know how people use LinkedIn, who do you think are the top 2 users? Recruiters looking for talent like you, right, to fill job opportunities. And then the second one, no one said it yet. Sales professionals looking to sell their products and services to you. How many of you have gotten LinkedIn messages trying to sell you something? I've gotten so many, right? Right? So that's because they know that's where customers are. That's where the money is, right? So now I want you to think about your LinkedIn. What does your LinkedIn profile say about you? I put mine as an example. So essentially it says here, 85% of US recruiters say an employee's LinkedIn profile influenced their hiring decision. 70% of recruiters have rejected candidates based on their profile. And I can attest to that. I definitely have done that, right? If their profile doesn't look up to date, maybe it doesn't have relevant, job information that's on the resume. Maybe it doesn't have a photo or doesn't have like accurate description of their previous job titles. Maybe there's no references or recommendations. I have definitely chosen one candidate over another who have similar backgrounds because one has a stronger LinkedIn profile. I hate to admit it, but it's true. We've done it before. I've done it before in my recruitment days. So LinkedIn gives you a platform to educate your existing connections or new connections about your brand and highlight your skills and expertise. So as you can see here on my LinkedIn profile, I have a really long title, a really long headline. We're going to talk about headlines because that is prime real estate for your personal brand. So as you can see here on my headline, career leadership and empowerment coach, improving hiring and talent development. I'm also a community manager, speaker, empowering diverse professionals and business leaders with the mindset and confidence to thrive. So this is what I want people to know about me as soon as they come to my page. And as you can see, I'm not just one thing. I wear many hats. And I'm sure many of you in here also wear many hats. So I want you to think about, what hats do you want to highlight? What do you really want people to see and learn about you as soon as they come to your page? What do you want to be known for? So this is another example of a really strong LinkedIn profile. Her name is Hala Taha. She's actually a LinkedIn coach as well. So yeah, she has a really strong profile. What do you notice about this profile? What kind of stands out about this profile to you?
It's bright, the colors. There's lots of like movement.
Yeah, she has bright colors. She has a great photo, right? She looks really like friendly, professional. Anything else that you notice?
There's a lot of calls to action in here too.
Definitely a lot of calls to action. She says, get actionable advice from the brightest minds in the world. I love that Alan has said her awards are right at the top. Yep, award-winning social media and podcast agency. Notice her headline as well, right? Young and profiting podcast, CEO and founder, Yap Media Network, #1 business podcast network, the podcast princess, right? Yap Media, the #1 LinkedIn marketing agency. Listen, learn, profit. Do you notice there that it's not just one thing, right? She has many different hats and different titles that she wants to share with you. And she talks about what matters to her, right? Listen, learn, profit. Lots of emojis as well. Yeah, you can use emojis in your headline. Did you know that? Can help it pop. It says friendly and inviting photo. The banner image is branded. Her headline is informational, and you get a clear sense of her skills and her mission, right? What is it that she's working on? What is it that she wants to be known for? So let's talk a little bit about keywords because that's really important. Keywords, just like on Google, right? They drive traffic, they get you more views, and they can position you before your ideal client or employer. So if you want to be noticed on LinkedIn, keywords will help you garner better connections and leads. Recruiters and employers rely on LinkedIn's algorithm to show them the most relevant profiles based on their keyword search. So again, the most significant place that keywords can appear is in your headline. The second most important place is in your skills section and endorsement section, as well as your job experience section. And just so you know, in the back end, LinkedIn Recruiter, the way that recruiters use LinkedIn, we have a whole other platform called LinkedIn Recruiter. And what we do is we will type in those keywords and then profiles will pop up based off those keywords, right? So that's why it's important to think about, what keywords do I want to be known for? How do I want to be found? Oh, we just mentioned that, right? How do recruiters use LinkedIn? We plug in a keyword, we do an assessment of your profile very quickly. And as you can see on the right here in the photo, that's actually what we see in LinkedIn Recruiter. So we'll just see your photo, your name, your headline, and then the most current role that you have. So that is the view that recruiters see when they're searching for specific keywords and for specific characteristics to find you. So let's start then with the basics, the profile photo and your banner image. Simply put, you want to have a complete profile because that is going to show that you have put in the time and the effort to complete your profile, and it's going to make you a more attractive candidate or potential even client or business partner or whatever it is that you're looking for on LinkedIn. So your photo should be clear, friendly, and appropriately professional, right? Did you know that a decent headshot can increase profile views up to 21%? While an incredible profile picture maybe won't get you an interview, a terrible photo could be the reason a recruiter does not reach out. Now, banner image gives your profile a polished look, a great first impression, and a great way to share maybe your expertise or your work or your website or your specialty. And just so you know, you can create a free banner image using canva.com. That's how I did mine. Literally go to canva.com, create a free account, and there's a whole LinkedIn section, and you can create a banner image very easily. So as you can see with this example, Netta Jenkins has a very strong banner image and photo. You can kind of get a lot of the sense of what she's all about just from her image and her banner image. So yeah, think about what photo, and you don't have to go to a professional photographer. You can literally put on a dress shirt, take with your cell phone in front of a white wall, take a photo, right? Like it does not have to be a professional photo whatsoever. Just something that looks, professional and friendly and clear. Okay. And your headline, we're going to talk about your headline because it is key. It does not have to just be your job title and your company, right? It's where you can highlight your specialties and your unique value proposition. It tells the world, including recruiters or hiring managers, how you see yourself professionally, right? The more detailed you can be about what sets you apart from someone else, the better. Your LinkedIn headline is key to making a positive impression and explaining exactly what you bring to the table. It's also one of the most significant fields for LinkedIn's search algorithm. Consider who you're trying to reach with your headline, right? For example, here with Allie, do you guys all know Allie? She's the founder of Baddies in Tech. So essentially it says, Allie's founder at Baddies in Tech, DEI tech recruiter, creating safe space for women of color to belong in tech. So that's what she's all about. She wants you to know that's her MO, that is her mission, creating more inclusive spaces for women of color in tech, right? So I really want you to think about how can you showcase your skills, your specialties, your strengths, or the impact that you want to make, or what's important to you in your headline. You want to make a positive first impression and attract the right people and opportunities. A strong headline will attract opportunities and people. And it does not just have to be your current job title. So for example, one headline could be tireless, caring registered nurse who helps pediatric cancer patients and their families feel at ease through treatment and recovery. Another one could be connecting talent with opportunity at a massive scale, business development manager, client relations, and staffing strategist. So I'm going to give you a few minutes right now to think about your headline. Maybe you don't have to do your photo right now in your banner. You can do that at a later date. But I want you to think about your headline. A good kind of criteria for creating the headline is how you help people, and your job title could be the ultimate headline, right? Or think about maybe the different areas that you're really passionate about. How can you put multiple facets of who you are into your headline? Ooh, I see some awesome headlines here. Okay, so Mandy says brand marketing, leader for hire, advertising and media partnerships, DEI champion, igniting brand advocacy, fueling revenue growth, and bringing teams to the finish line. I love that. So it sounds like, Mandy, you're looking for a role right now,
Yep,
right?
that's correct.
Awesome. So I actually recommend you don't need for hire because generally it's going to say open to hire, right? Do you have it on the back end, like open to opportunities?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question for you, Mandy. Are you looking for a role in like a particular industry or just marketing?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in entertainment media for the last 10 years.
So I would say maybe brand marketing leader with over 10 plus years in entertainment media or something like that. I love the last part, igniting brand advocacy, fueling revenue growth, and bringing teams to the finish line. And if you want to stay in the entertainment industry, I would definitely include that somewhere in your headline. Oh, Shirley said, is it okay not to have a banner image? It is okay not to have a banner image, but I would recommend having one because whether we like it or not, we do live in a very, I don't want to say image conscious world, but we do. First impressions matter. So I do recommend having some type of banner image, and it doesn't have to be branded. It doesn't have to have like your awards on it, but maybe let's say you're really passionate about, let's say, publishing, right? Maybe it's a banner image of a book cover with your name on it and your email. You want to make a strong first impression, and your banner image will help you have a more polished look. What do you recommend for a headline for someone who's at the beginning of their professional journey and is open to many different kinds of jobs? Great question. So Allison, do you have an idea of like the type of maybe industry you would want to be a part of?
Yeah, I'm open to a lot, as I said. But I have a background mostly in writing,
Okay.
writing and editing, and some digital marketing that I think would be cool to kind of leverage if possible.
You could say something along the lines of passionate about writing, and then you can do, what I like to use are those vertical pipes, right? You can put those vertical pipes in between. So you can say creative writer, passionate about content strategy, or maybe content writing, digital marketing, right? You can have the different pipelines and just let them know what are your different skill sets and your strengths. So thinking a little bit more strategically about how can you showcase your different writing skills on your headline. And Ray says, marketing director, expert in product marketing, brand development, omni-channel campaigns, agile methodology, CRM, digital and integrated marketing, team leadership, and growth strategies. Wow, Ray, you've done it all. Maybe for that one, you would say marketing director in the blank industry, or you can say marketing leader with over 10 years of experience in product marketing, brand development, omni-channel campaigns, agile methodology, CRM. You can say something like that as well to show your tenure and to show how long you've been in that industry as well. But I hope you're getting an idea, right? You're getting a more of a sense that you can be more specific in your headline and really think about what do you want people to know about you as soon as they come to your page, because that's the first place a recruiter or a client or anyone's going to look. Your about summary as well is an amazing place to tell your story, right? People actually take the time to read it. I'm telling you, I've had so many people tell me they've actually read my about me. I've actually been told by hiring managers, I loved your about me, and that's what made me reach out to you for an interview. Or I had you and another candidate, but your about me really stood out, and so that's what made me choose you instead. It's really the place for you to share a little bit about yourself, right? This is where you tell your connections who you are, what experience or skills do you have, and why you're a valuable connection. I actually recommend 3 to 5 paragraphs. I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you right now, if somebody is interested in you, they will take the time to read it. I've gotten speaking engagements off of my About Me summary, coaching clients from my About Me summary. So I'm here to say it works. People want to connect with real people. And this is not your resume. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. It is a living, breathing document that you can always be changing, editing, updating, adding more things to, right? Your resume is just a snapshot of your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is your online professional brand that you can always be changing, always be editing and tweaking. So really quickly, this is just an example of one that I thought was strong. Eliza, it says, the human brain is a crazy place, and there are 2 things that fascinate me most about product and growth marketing. First, the concept of consumer logic and how rational yet irrational it can be. And second, the challenge of communicating in a way that persuades and convinces consumers always requires optimization. So you're optimizing for something that is both rational and irrational. I apply the same thinking in product marketing that I also apply in leadership, because whether you're connecting with consumers or with your team, you're connecting with the fun irrationality of their logic in order to bring ideas together, influence an outcome, and also optimize and scale for future growth. Now she talks a little bit about her experience, right? Previously, I built and led the demand gen marketing team, bringing 7 new products to market. And prior to joining SurveyMonkey, I worked in B2B marketing across the technology and financial services industries, helping companies generate revenue. And then I love the last paragraph here. Outside of work, I serve on the board of directors of San Francisco Women in Tech, an organization committed to improving and networking and success of women in technology in Silicon Valley. I coach running for Girls on the Run, right? So you get a good sense of Eliza, not just her professional background, but actually what she cares about. And then also she's an avid runner, cyclist, painter, right? It's a great way to kind of show a little bit of your personality, right? It makes you more interesting. It gives you kind of that holistic view that you're just not an employee, an employee or a worker, but you're a human being and there are things that you care about. You want to use the first person I statement. You want to start with a hook. You want to share your value, maybe share a story, maybe share some of your accomplishments that you're most proud of. You can include relevant keywords in your about me. And then the last thing I would say is make sure to have a call to action. So at the bottom of your about me, you can say, hey, if you need to reach me, here's my email, or here's a Calendly link to book time with me, or here's my website, check out my website. Professional experience, again, is important especially for keywords. So you want to have a title that's easily recognizable. Dates, the year with no month is okay, right? This is not your resume. It's more of, overarching your career journey. And then your description. Be strategic here. This is a great place to use keywords, use action words. You can share what was your role or accomplishment. What were you responsible for? What did you accomplish during that time, right? So your professional experience is a great place to share a little bit more about what was your role in that particular experience. Recommendations is amazing to have. What I love about recommendations is it does not have to just be from your previous manager. It can come from a coworker. It can come from a classmate. It can come from someone you met at Women NYC who knows about your work ethic and your business or whatever it is, right? Anyone who's worked with you in some type of capacity. And it just really validates your professional experience. It gives you that credibility. And I'm telling you, recruiters do look at that. Like, let's say you're an awesome candidate and there's another awesome candidate and you have very similar experiences, but you can only choose one. I'm going to choose the one that has the recommendations versus the one that doesn't have recommendations. And that's just a reality. And then obviously ways to grow your personal brand. Join and network on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn events or join specific groups, right? If you're, let's say, for example, we have quite a few marketers in here. There's a ton of marketing groups on LinkedIn that you can be a part of. You can mentor others less experienced in the industry. You can find a mentor of your own, right? You can find one on LinkedIn. You can volunteer as a speaker for relevant events, right? If you see a marketing conference coming up, hey, reach out to them. Hey, could I maybe speak on this specific topic? Is that something that would be of interest? You can work on projects. You can host your own professional events, and you can actively engage on LinkedIn, right? Posting at least 3 times a week to really grow that brand so people start getting to know you a little bit more and what you're all about. And stay consistent, right? Personal branding does take time. It's not going to happen overnight. I will tell you, I have like almost 11,000 connections on LinkedIn. That took me like 10 years to build, you guys. That was not an overnight thing, okay? I've been doing this for a while, right? So provide value by sharing content that's relevant or that you're interested in. Comment on people's posts, repost things, publish content, add any accomplishments in your featured section of your profile so people can see it front and center. Become a LinkedIn all-star. You're 40 times more likely to be seen on LinkedIn if you are an all-star, if you reach that all-star status. It shows recruiters and potential employers that you know how to use LinkedIn and that they can find all the information they need about you. The final checklist, right? Just for kind of the basics of your profile. Do I have a professional looking picture? Does my headline reflect what I do? Does my about summary describe my skills and my interests and tell my story? Do I accurately describe my professional experience? And do I have at least 2 recommendations and at least 100 connections, right? We want to have at least 100 connections. And if not, start connecting with people. And you can connect with me. So I'm actually going to put my LinkedIn, my website, my email in the chat for all of you to connect. One thing I would say, because something a lot of my clients struggle with LinkedIn is they're like, I don't like bragging about myself. I don't like being that person that talks about myself. And I'm here to say that you are your biggest advocate. And if you do not share what you're doing, there are not mind readers out there. People don't know, right?
It's
People
true.
don't know if you don't tell them, if you don't share. So really look at it as you advocating for yourself and you building a platform for yourself so that you can have more opportunities. It's really all about getting more opportunities, and creating those opportunities for yourself starts with first sharing. You're all amazing and doing amazing things, and the world needs to know, and you don't know who could be looking for that particular service that you offer, right? You never know until
So
you put it
true.
out. So I hope this was helpful. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. And thank you so much, Colleen, for having me today.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining today. I love all of the interaction and engagement, and there's only more to come. So have a great week. You ladies
everyone.
rock. Bye,
Y'all
everyone.
rock. Keep rocking.